Day 49, and I I haven't had a chance to process all the feelings yet from being with my daughter and being on vacation and everything. What has become clear already is that I was very aware of my sovereignty, is what I want to say, but also I want to say that it's a new way of being for me, especially as a mother, right? I've been training myself to be a sovereign being with my husband by reminding myself, like going into my body and reminding myself that whatever his mood is, it doesn't matter. I used to be extremely, like all empaths, like I'm sure many people who follow me, we are like sponges, right? We're like sponges. We feel the energy from other people. We feel the energy. I feel the energy from the collective. I sometimes suffer so much without even having a particular reason for it, like in my own life. I pick up stuff from everywhere. I'm like an antenna. And I think actually many of us are. We just haven't been given the tools and the skills to self-regulate. So I've been training myself not to be in reaction to my husband's moods, because that used to completely destroy me. If he was in a bad mood, it was like I was in it with him, and I was just in reaction. And I've trained myself in these last several years to, whenever possible, whenever I am in that more aware state, whenever I can be more of an observer rather than a reaction, I realized, no, that's, I'm not stressed. Like in my body, everything is fine. Like I am fine. So especially because we were on a little, trip, we were on a little vacation. And I remember I used to have a tendency to like get angry at somebody, like, he's ruining my vacation, or he's like ruining my mood. And then we blame these people for something that's completely none of our business in a way, right? If we didn't cause their upsetness, or even if we did their upsetness, if we didn't intend to upset anyone, whatever they're going through is their experience. And what we're going through, what's happening in our body, the emotions that we feel in our body are our experience and our responsibility. So I had to catch myself several times where my husband, due to his work or something else that was happening, was in a different state of mind or being than I was. And he wasn't, quite with the program that we're on vacation. And I had to really, really like remind myself and make a point of the fact that that's okay. Like he's allowed his experience. He's allowed his experience, and I have mine. And, in codependency, only one feeling was allowed. If somebody was in a bad mood, everybody had to be in a bad mood, or try to fix it, or try to bring them out. And that's how I raised my children as well, right? I mean, until I understood that that's completely, it's like we can have multiple feelings. Each person can have their own feelings. We don't all have to have the same experience, even if we are on vacation. Like, I'm on vacation. I love swimming, so I can go and swim, and I don't need to drag everyone and like force everyone to go and swim with me, or to do whatever it is that that I do to be happy, right? Everybody has their own preferences, etc. So that took me a little while, but this time it was even more difficult because my daughter was with us, and I see her rarely and she lives far away, and she's left home for college 5 years ago and never really returned. So I don't have the habit of being me in my new, more observant, more aware self as a mother. I mean, I get bursts of this, and it's always quite a challenge. But this time, also like she had her experience and I had mine, and as I tried not to make any illusions or expectations, so that I don't get disappointed. And it was wonderful in that kind of spontaneous way. And then there were moments when we weren't quite in that same experience, and I kept on catching myself that it's okay. I don't need to know why she is in the mood that she's in, nor is it my obligation or responsibility to fix her mood or to get her out of a bad mood or a mood that's not perfectly cheerful. It's a real, I think, wisdom that I'm starting to really experience now, where it's okay to let other people have their experience and their emotions and their moods. That their moods, what's happening in their body, is completely their right, and it's in their control, and it's almost none of my business. Unless they're doing something like, disrespecting me or something. But then even that, I don't need to worry about it, because if I don't feel disrespected, or if it's something that I need them to change, I will just communicate my boundaries. But that capacity to be sovereign, that capacity to be separate, the understanding that we're all it's like, yes, in the grand scheme of things, we're all connected and all that, right? For all of my spiritual minded followers. But in this human expression, we're all separate, right? Our body delineates our separateness from other people. And so that enmeshment that we have experienced in codependent relationships out of which we're coming, it was very heavy, it was very difficult, it was very unfair often, because it really didn't allow people to have their own experience, to have their own feelings. So especially when it comes to our children, right? I had a message from a friend today. Oh, I hope, your daughter has returned replenished and happy, and honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, in our dreams, it's like, yeah, we finally had our precious child with us for a couple of days without even her sisters, right? It was like such a precious experience, just the three of us. It's been a very, very long time, and we were all looking forward to it and everything like that. But did she leave me sparkling and replenished? I'm sure, right? Like, I know, of course she rested and everything, but was she in a perfect mood? No. And it has nothing to do with me, because she's her own person. She has the right to her whatever worries or whatever concerns or whatever moods that she is experiencing. And what I think helps me so much now is that I don't make her mood a reflection on my capacities as her mother. The fact that she wasn't perfectly happy from, the week spent with us, that has nothing to do with me, She is who she is. She's probably missing her life too. And it just doesn't upset me anymore. It really doesn't. And I'm extremely grateful that I'm at that level of self-sufficiency and, once again, sovereignty, that I can allow people in my life, people with whom I am in relationships, to be who they are without it destroying me. If she's not perfectly happy in the moment when I said goodbye to her, well, that's okay. Like, she has the right to have her experience, and I have the right to have mine. And I've written about it, right? Like, I've written an article that's called "You're Only as Happy as Your Least Happy Child," and that's a complete lie. It's just an untruth. It's a tragedy of codependent parenting. So yeah, that ability to be sovereign, that ability to be separate, doesn't mean that you don't care, doesn't mean that you cannot be in compassion. I found in my experience that I can only be truly in care and in compassion for other people when I can not drown in the emotions and reactions, in when I don't drown in my reactions to their state. When I can be a separate sovereign being and actually hold space for them to be in whatever state they are, this is so much more a compassion and safe space than me trying to fix it or blame them for ruining my vacation or ruining anything for that matter, or making me feel bad, like I'm a bad mother, or like I haven't done enough, or I didn't create a perfect experience for my child, for my grown-up child. So this is what I wanted to share today. Another example why becoming a sovereign being is just so important for all of our roles, whether it's whether it's being sovereign within our families, or it's being sovereign in the world, because we can look at what's happening, all the insanity that's happening in the world, and it's when we can remain firmly grounded in our okayness that we can actually find enough resources to help others. When we're drowned and incapacitated in fear and anger and scarcity and worry, then we cannot really be there for other people in the way that they need us to be. So, sovereignty. You're allowed to be different than other people, even with whom you live. You're allowed to have your experience, and they are allowed to have their experience. And this is normal, and this is good. And this is what I'm teaching. One of the things that I'll be teaching in my workshop starting tomorrow. So if you haven't signed up yet, but my message speaks to you, you have 24 hours. It's starting on Monday at 5 p.m. in Europe, 11 a.m. New York time. And I hope to see you there. All right, everyone. See you tomorrow.